Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Living in the Magic podcast. I'm really excited to talk about our focus for today, which is to stop trying to figure it out. And the reason why I felt called to share this is because I feel like it's been something I've been really learning over the past year, and something that's been coming up a lot lately, both for myself, for my friends, for clients. This need to figure things out. I feel like so many of us right now are in this in between period where we know things are going to change, but we don't know necessarily when or how or even the what. And we have this like feeling of needing to figure it out, of like wanting to know, this discomfort of being in the in between. And so that is the focus on today's episode. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that have helped me navigate that in between season and get more comfortable with not knowing. And my intention really for today's episode is for you to just relax into the now, knowing that it's all taken care of for you. And also the reminder to live in the magic, which, how perfect. So, the first thing I want to say when it comes to trying to figure it out is to celebrate you. Because this means that you have a goal so big that you don't know the how. And that is where the true magic happens. You're not staying in the known. You're not staying on the like clear path. You've given yourself permission to dream so big that you don't even know the how, which major celebrating you. And the other part of that is you get the privilege of now watching how it all unfolds, of living in the magic. Because if you knew the straight path, you would know the how, you would know how it unfolds, you would know the steps you need to take, and it would be missing. I mean, magic's always there, but you wouldn't be as aware of how magical it all unfolds, how much is at work in place for it to unfold for you. And so when we have the audacity to dream so big where we don't see the how, we don't know how it unfolds for us, that is such a privilege because now we get to witness the magic, witness its unfolding, seeing how things happen beyond what we know is possible, and really revealing the support and guidance that's available to us. So first things first, before we even really dive in, is I just want to celebrate you. You had the audacity to dream so big where you don't even know the how. Hell yes. I want to also switch your perspective on trying to figure it out. Because first things first, the chances of us actually figuring it all out with our mind is slim to none. Because our mind is designed to seek the familiar. It's designed on what it thinks is possible. So even as you're trying to figure it out, you're really just using what you know of to try to figure it out. Our brains aren't designed to see the miraculous. Our brains aren't capable of seeing the whole picture of how it could unfold for you. So really, when we're trying to figure it out, we're placing on an unconscious level these limitations, saying, well, I can only see it happening this way, or I only think it's possible this way, or I don't see how it's possible, right? And then we gradually start to put these limitations on how it gets to unfold for us. And if we somehow manage to figure it all out, how boring would that be? Yes, there'd be some comfort in that, just like rewatching your favorite show or movie, but is that the way you want to live life? It kind of takes that magic, that experience away from it. And so knowing even our goal of figuring it all out, not only is it nearly impossible, but even if we were successful in that, what's the fun in that? What's the point? And so that's why I truly think the goal here isn't to figure it out. The goal is, how can we get comfortable in the unknown? How can we get comfortable in not knowing and not figuring it out? That's what we're expanding here, not our ability to try to control and figure it all out, but it's how can I be okay in the unknown? How can I trust myself, the universe, how it's all unfolding? How can I trust that and be comfortable here in this spot where I don't see the bridge right now? I don't see how it's possible. How can I get more comfortable here? That's the goal, not figuring it out. Because figuring it out really just stems from our own need for control. It is our way of feeling safe in this unknown. Even when, like I said, we try to figure it out, it might not even be the way it happens. So it really is this safety we're creating that's not even necessarily true. But it's our way of staying calm in this discomfort, of feeling like we can have somewhat of control over it. And so we spend so much time up here in our minds trying to figure it out just so that we can relax a little bit more. And so reminding yourself, I don't need to figure it out. The goal isn't to have it figured out. The goal is, how can I feel comfortable here? Not easing my discomfort with figuring it out, but easing my discomfort of allowing myself to be in this place. Can I trust myself to figure out whatever comes next? Can I trust that the next step is going to reveal itself? Can I trust that there's a bridge already built and my job is to just take that next step, one step after the other? How can you get comfortable here in the unknown? Because that changes everything. That opens your world up, because now you're no longer relying on what you know. You are opening yourself up to receiving the guidance, the support that's available to you, and the limitless ways that it can come to you. Which this is why I think this perspective is so big, because it gets us out of our heads. And when we're in our heads future planning, we're not available for our next step, what will actually lead us. We feel like we're doing something because we are working hard up here, but we're actually not taking that next step, what's actually going to bring us physically closer. And so becoming more comfortable here in the unknown is going to bring you back to the present moment, where you can receive what you need in order to move towards it. Because you don't need to know all 25 steps, you just need to know your next one. That's it. And then the next one will be revealed, and the next one will be revealed. And then all of a sudden you'll be on the other side of the bridge and you're like, wow, I could have never predicted how I was led here, how it all worked out. And how I thought it was going to go was such a limited perspective. I didn't realize how much was available to me, how much support was available to me, how I didn't even think that was an option for me, right? And so reminding yourself, you only need the next step, and the next step is available to you here in the present moment. The other way I feel like this perspective of being comfortable in the unknown versus trying to figure it out is that I really believe that there's a future version of us who is living that dream life, who has A, B, C, D, whatever it is that you are trying to figure out, who's begging this version of us to soak it all in, who's looking back on this time with so much nostalgia, wishing that we would have said yes to that dinner, or would have just taken a breath, or would have enjoyed this time with loved ones, or would have allowed ourselves to have fun. That version of us knows what is going to happen and knows that it's all temporary, and has this wish for us to be here now, to soak it all in, to enjoy. And this is coming from someone who's currently living at home, and I constantly reminding myself, like, there's a version of me that is going to be so grateful that I've spent this time with my parents, with my family. And so being present and bringing that energy here now of enjoying your life now, I think is key. Because I think so often we have these dreams, and part of the reason we try to control it all and figure it out is because we're attaching so much to it. We are so attached to that outcome happening. And usually when that happens, it's because we think that outcome is going to give us something. It's, oh, I'm going to be happy once this happens, once I have this amount of money. I'm going to love my life so much more when I'm living in this area. I'm going to be so much more successful when I have this job. It's like we're attaching these needs to it, putting so much pressure on it happening, trying to figure out the how so that we get that thing. But it's also this reminder that that thing doesn't equal what we think it's going to give us. Because all those things, the success, the happiness, the fulfillment, those are things that only we can give ourselves. They're not attached to external circumstances. And when we attach them to external circumstances, that's often when we either get disappointed or we're wondering why we don't feel how we thought we would have felt, or it's temporary, right? We get that hit and then we're back. And so I think returning to this present moment, knowing that it's temporary, knowing that there's a future version of us who's like, soak this up, things are about to change, soak it up. We're able to bring that energy of our desires into the present moment. We're able to feel that gratitude now. We're able to feel that fulfillment now, which ultimately brings our desires closer to us anyways, because we're not desperate for them. You know what I mean? And so I think this is a reminder too, because oftentimes we're figuring it out because we're desperate for that feeling or that outcome, is asking yourself, what is it that you think this is going to give you? And can you experience that now? And can you get to a place where you can neutralize it? Meaning, can you get to a place where you're like, yes, I would love to experience this in this lifetime, but if I don't, I know I'm going to be okay. I don't need it. Would I like it? Yeah, that would be really cool. And if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, I can be at peace with that too. That I think is also the goal. Not attaching, not being so desperate for it, but allowing ourselves to be like, yeah, that would be really fun and really cool. And I know if not, I will make now really fun and really cool, or I will make whatever's next for me really fun and really cool. Another thing coming up for me when it comes to figuring it out is I found myself a lot, especially at the beginning of the entrepreneur journey, or like this walking the pathless path, of like complaining about it. And I had to have a talk with myself of this idea of, I've chosen this path, so I'm going to walk it as if I've chosen it. Because the reality is, yes, this pathless path, I don't have it figured out. I don't necessarily know what's going to happen 5 years, 10 years from now. And that is actually such a privilege. Because when I think about my previous life of being a teacher and knowing what the track was and having that set plan to an extent, I know that wasn't for me. Even though there's a part of me that craves that stability, there's also a part of me that tried that and was slowly dying inside. So also reminding myself of like, I've chosen this path and I'm going to walk this path like I've chosen it. And just like taking that power back in a sense and remembering my why behind it. Like, I've chosen to live this magical life. I've chosen to open myself up to a greater possibility than I can imagine with my limited perspective. And that's such a privilege. And something that has come up it's come up twice now in energetic upgrade sessions, is our ancestors coming forward and basically wanting to live vicariously through us. Because for so many of us, we are the first ones in our lineage who have this complete freedom, who don't necessarily have the responsibilities of previous generations. Where, for example, for me, I don't have kids yet. I don't have a husband yet. I am not reliant on a 9 to 5 right now. What a privilege that is, that I have this freedom to choose, where not everyone in my lineage had that privilege. And so honoring that and honoring this privilege of being able to walk this pathless path, knowing that not knowing is a privilege. It's a gift because I've chosen a path that's different. I've chosen a path that's unique to me. I've chosen to open myself up to the limitless possibilities versus previous generations might have had a path already dictated for them, might have already had their job laid out for them or their role laid out for them. And so remembering also what a privilege this is to be on this path of not knowing. And so I invite you, wherever you are on this journey, to give yourself permission to not figure it out. To remind yourself all you need is the next step. And the next step can only be found in the present moment. So can you take the pressure off of checking all those boxes on your to-do list, of figuring out the timing, the how, the what, and just trust that you are being led? And even if it feels like you're not being led to what you desire, then trust that you're being led to something even greater than you can imagine. We are so guided, we are so supported. And I think sometimes we just forget that. It's by not figuring it out that we leave space for this magic. Can you open yourself up? Can you release your grip on the plan and leave room? I'm sorry, I'm like laughing because I'm picturing of like leave room for Jesus at school dances. But can we leave room for the magic to come through? Can you imagine yourself a year from now looking back at this time and you're like, damn, I could have never predicted that. That was more easeful, more fun, more magical than I ever could have predicted, than I ever could have planned for. Thank God I didn't rely on my own plan. Thank God I was open to letting the magic unfold. And thank God I soaked up that time and was present. So maybe it's not about figuring it out. Maybe it's about releasing your grip, relaxing, staying open to the next step, having some fun, enjoying the now. That's today's episode and pep talk. I hope that you found it helpful for anyone navigating the unknown. And I hope that I also helped you in seeing the unknown as a bit more fun. Seeing the unknown as limitless possibilities instead of like the scary limits and possibilities we put onto it. The unknown is actually like the greatest thing ever because it's greater than you could imagine. It's full of magic. It's easier than you could imagine, right? Like this unknown space, I feel like we label it as unsafe because we don't know. It's biology. It makes sense. But realizing there's a whole nother side to that coin. The unknown is the magic. And so can you comfort that part of you as you sit in the unknown and let them know that you've got them, that you're going to figure out what's next just like you always have, and that you're going to allow it to unfold, that you trust that you're being guided, that you trust in you, in source, in the plan, in the divine plan. Can you comfort that part of you that's freaking out a little bit? And can we rebrand the unknown? Can we romanticize the unknown? Unknown rebrand coming up. Okay, I'm going to pull a card. We'll see which one comes through for today. Any messages for this collective, especially those in the in-between, in the unknown. I also feel like it reminds me of a butterfly, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It's like caterpillar was just thinking it was going to go chill in the cocoon, and then damn, comes out a whole freaking butterfly. Let it be better than you can imagine, because that gets to be an option too. Pulling from a different deck this time. This is the Work Your Light Oracle card by Rebecca Campbell. The only problem is I find these cards get all stuck together. So let's see what comes through. Okay, we got birthing a new age. It says birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. On page 92, for any fellow 92ers out there. So it says birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Often our path is exactly the one that we don't feel prepared to walk. Walk it anyway. Often what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly hold. Be a container for it anyway. Often our creations seem to have a wild, uncontrollable consciousness of their own. Birth them anyway. Often what is ours to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Be courageous and do it anyway. We are birthing a new age. Right now, we're in a transition period between ages, in the process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and the new to rise. Like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead, we need to release old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. You are part of a group of souls that have been incarnating at significant periods of history, preparing for this exact time, dreaming a new world into being. Priestesses, witches, mystics, healers, seers, artists, midwives, visionaries, guardians of the earth, and storytellers from times past. It is time to give permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being. I am open to surrendering to the creations that are wanting to be birthed through me. May I be of service in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. Please use me. Please lead me. Please show me the way. I feel like that's going to resonate with so many of you listening. I feel like if you listen to this pod, that's you. Because this was a shorter episode, I'm going to pull one more card, and this time it's from the Magical Spirit Oracle, the one I usually pull from. Just seeing if any final messages want to come through for the collective listening to today's episode. Okay, this one's card number 8. It's magic, which, how perfect. It says, I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. Magic, power, beginnings, transformation. Magic, power, beginnings, transformation, bravery. I trust the magic and power within me. If you have pulled this card, you are entering a powerful and pivotal era in your life. Royal energy of the Queen and King. Your highest self is so proud of you. You are undergoing a spiritual and psychological transformation after a journey of obstacles. Though it may feel new and unfamiliar, it is a potent place for you to grow, take action, and trust yourself more than you ever have before. Do you see how beautiful that sunrise is? It brings with it so many possibilities, adventure, and excitement. Be brave. Try something new. You've got this. Stop feeding the demon of doubt in your head. Instead, give it love and watch it turn into an angel. It's okay to hit a learning curve. It's okay to make mistakes, especially when you accept accountability for them and try to do better next time while giving yourself more grace, compassion, and forgiveness. I'm going to pause there for a second because I just want to say too, when navigating this unknown, remembering to give yourself grace, I think, is really key because you're doing this for the first time. You're not handed a rule book or a guidebook. You are experiencing things in real time. And so being gentle with yourself, I think, is so important. And even connecting with the part of you who's in doubt, who's panicked, or who, just doesn't see it. Like allowing that to be okay and just being with that part of you. Validating that part and also reminding it that you are held, you are guided, you are supported. You're not going to get it all right or perfect, and you're not supposed to. You're meant to live the fullest and truest expression of yourself. You're meant to feel fully alive. Take the higher path you feel called to. You are the hero of this story, and it's time to start underestimating how powerful you are. You are capable of so much. You can be a fair and balanced ruler in your own life. All the spiritual guidance you need is within you. Your connection with your own magic and with spirit is very strong, especially at this point in your journey. Remember to trust yourself. You, more than anybody, know where to go next, even if it's just to a place of peace and contentment in your psyche. That is also a path, and if you're coming from turbulence, that is more than enough. Sometimes the journey can only be walked from within. Go to that next place. Do that next thing. It's time. It is time. And it says here, manifestation enhancer. Take action and try new things. Even baby steps are better than nothing. Practice being brave and allowing yourself to make mistakes. But more than anything, walk that higher path. Your highest self is watching and guiding you. Light a candle for them and seek connection and communication on your journey. They are always within you. They are you. That's so beautiful and is really connected to a lot of the work I do. I think connecting with the version of you who's where you want to be is so powerful because they hold so much wisdom. And it can be, what's my next step in a meditation, connecting with them. Thinking maybe I should release a meditation to support us with that. But it can be, what's my next step? It can be, what do they want you to know? And so often when I do this with clients, what comes through is really they want you to have more fun, or they want you to just relax and be present and enjoy this time, because again, they know it's temporary. They know things are about to change. So I hope this episode gave you permission, if you needed it, to let go a little bit more, to allow yourself to be here now, to dance in the unknown, because it really is all the unknown. We just try to pretend like we know, try to convince ourselves we know. And to just allow yourself to enjoy this time, because things are about to change for you. You're ready. Take that next step and allow the magic to unfold. That concludes this episode of Living in the Magic. If you have any questions, if you want to chat further about anything, or if you think something would be supportive, you can leave a comment on YouTube, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, and we can chat more there. Thank you so much, as always, for listening, and we'll chat soon.